Hi, I'm Mark, and this is The Country Life with Columbus Mark, where I try to give you a lighthearted look at life in the country. And today we're in the town of Mount Olive, North Carolina. That might sound familiar to you because it's the home of the Mount Olive Pickle Company, but that's only part of the story. Even better than that is where we are today, R and R Brewing in downtown Mount Olive. And this is RR right here, Ryan Roberts.
Yep.
And he is the owner.
Yep.
And pretty much everything else. What'd you call yourself? You had a title you gave
Well,
her.
I'm head of Hoperations.
Hoperations, that's what it was.
If it needs to be done, I'm usually the one to do it.
So Ryan here, this is a town of under 5,000.
Yep. Yeah.
It's hard to have a brewery in a small town.
It can be. It can be challenging.
Hard to have a brewery during the middle of a pandemic.
Extremely challenging. Yeah.
And this guy has an MBA, but not in brewing.
No.
So how did you get into the brew business?
Homebrew kit, like most people. It was a Christmas present. Started with a turkey fryer and a cooler and the very, very basics. And I guess part of my personality kind of took over where I made a beer and I thought, wow, you know, I can make beer at home, and kept doing it and trying to tweak it here and there. And before you know it, you got a whole room full of beer and you don't drink it nearly as fast as you make it, and you're giving it to friends and family, and eventually, you know, folks make a suggestion that you might need to find a way to repurpose it, you know, build a brewery, sell it, you know, find a way to if you're going to continue this hobby and continue to develop and grow the different beers you make and the size that you're making it, you know, you're kind of already down that path of let's do a feasibility analysis and see if it can really happen.
See, with his MBA, he knows all about that feasibility stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to guess you have a lot more overhead here than you did at home, making your 6 bottles a week or whatever you did.
Yeah, very, very much so. Once you put food grade on any piece of equipment, it goes, the cost is going to go up. But really, you sit and just think, is the juice worth the squeeze, so to speak? And really, it wasn't like I woke up one morning and said, you know what, I'm going to open up a brewery. It was a lot of little things that fell into place. You know, the building that we're in now was vacant. It became vacant unexpectedly, and that's kind of where breweries start. Is we pick an old building that needs some love, and really all you need is 4 walls and a roof to brew some beer. So put in a floor drain, start looking for tanks, and you don't necessarily need to go buy a brand new car. You know, a used car gets you from A to B. So if you apply that kind of mentality and really start digging in the weeds, so to speak, you can find what you need, and it's still not cheap. You know, cheap is just not a word that's associated with this side, the production side of things. But the goal is you make an investment, and if you set your goals reasonably and kind of chart your path to get there, and if you don't hit them, that's okay, but try to regroup and find a way to get there. Eventually it's worth it. And so right now the value that we're getting, aside from the fact that we're slowly, you know, building back these expenses, is we're doing something positive for the community. There's this intrinsic value you can't put it on a profit and loss statement. You can't put it on the bank account, but there's value that's already been gained just from being here.
There is, because it's the kind of thing people, I know in my hometown, just where I live now, is that brewery I mentioned.
Yeah.
And people hear about it and they drive there for that brewery.
Exactly.
And I'm sure the same thing's happening here.
Yeah. We've had initially people would come to town because they want to see the pickle factory. Well, they're to a certain size where you can't just walk through the middle of that operation. I mean, that is a fine-tuned machine. And so they want to interact with the community. They want to visit. They want to been there, done that, got the T-shirt kind of trip.
But you have T-shirts here too.
We do,
now, right?
yeah. We have the T-shirt. Yeah, we also have the pickle beer. You know, so.
What do you mean you need pickle beer?
We actually, you know, we were open about 6 months, and everybody came to town wanting to know why we didn't have a pickle beer. And I said, well, honestly, we're just trying to figure things out and on this professional brewing level to begin with. So we're not even trying to experiment with different varieties, but it was like a no-brainer. We had to do it, you know.
So do you have it now?
We do. We have it now.
I may have to get a sample. I'm not getting a pint. I can tell you that much.
Well, and funny enough, the largest event in town annually is the Pickle Festival, and it brings thousands of people right by this front door. And it was just we're too small. We're still too small. We've grown 7 times the size since we opened. and we're still too small to meet the demand for that particular beer. So we partnered with a bigger brewery up outside of Raleigh called Deep River. They're in Clayton, and we use their facility. We partner with them, and that's how we kind of were able to meet that demand right from the get-go. And it's a light lager, little pickle flavor. We actually have to take each jar of Mount Olive pickles, open them up, and separate the pickles from the juice, blend up the pickles, and then we use, of course, the super secret combination of juice to pickle ratio.
It's like the kosher dill pickles?
The sea salt kosher dill spears. Yep. We, I drive my truck down there. They take a pallet of pickles, sit it on my truck, and we take it up there to their facility and work our magic and make this beer. And it's been going 3 years strong.
Oh my gosh.
All over North Carolina. Yep.
Never heard of that.
Yep.
So not only, of course, they have the brewery here, but they also have their own mini cannery, I guess we call it. You can can your own beers.
We got what's called a nano canning machine, and that was really largely in response to the shutdown from COVID in 2020. We didn't have the capability to be in the grocery store, and if anybody was still rocking and rolling, it was the grocery store, and they were super friendly and generous. They said, anything you've got, come put it on the shelf, we'll help you. Because this is a small community, and we love to help each other out as business owners, because that's what you've got to have to survive. And unfortunately, I said, well, I don't have that capability. So you take another risk. You take out a loan, you buy the equipment, you jump in, feet first. And now we've got 9 different canned beer options you can buy in a 6-pack, 12-ounce can. And the goal is to just maximize that opportunity.
Are your cans imprinted with your logo and stuff?
Oh yeah. We've got our labels, and based off of what beer's inside, we changed the color to reference that beer, and we're really just trying to create that brand recognition and let people know we're here. I mean, we're only 3.5 years old at the moment, and I only say 2.5 because we scrapped COVID year altogether, But
were you open during the COVID year, though? The main year?
We were shut down from the executive orders for 2 months, but once we were allowed to do this partial reopening, we had to get creative. So we opened up our gates to our backyard. We created a drive-through, and we had the ability to make crowlers, which are 32-ounce cans.
Right.
So we took over 800 gallons of beer that was in the cooler, and we sat here nonstop, and we filled those cans, and we did we mirrored the Chick-fil-A method, and we were out. We had one staff member, and we had bartenders, we had brewers, myself. I mean, we were all pitching in. We had volunteers come in and help where they could, and we did a little brew through, and the can sales helped us pay the fixed expenses that we still had, and meanwhile I was doing the paperwork side of things, trying to get the PPP money, the SBA relief money, and that finally came through, and that's what helped us with the canning machine and other just expenses that were necessary to stay afloat.
And you're very creative, got a big backyard, plenty of outside seating, inside seating. He's also, for you RVers, is a harvest host, which means, if you have a self-contained RV that can fit in one of his slots, you're welcome to stay here a night for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love for you to drink some beer and take some home, but and that's where I am tonight. So thank you for having me do that. Come here as well. Anything else you want to tell folks?
Oh man, well the R and R from R and R Brewing, people always ask, what does that stand for? And it initially did come from my initials, because again, I filled out the paperwork not really knowing what I was getting into, and once it was in stone, so to speak, we had to develop a brand around it. And really my goal, I realize that we make beer and we sell beer, but my goal being part of this community is to sell some type of feeling. And I was like, well, rest and relaxation is a no-brainer, because we want people to have a pint and enjoy time with friends and reconnect, and really that's the core of our being as a brewery. We plan to grow, and we want to continue to brew beer and brew great beer, but ultimately we want people to connect, and especially after the past couple of years that we've had, and people wanting to get out of the house, or people that are now working from home. We offer free Wi-Fi if you want to work as you can, here, and we just encourage people to support local breweries, not just to get out and drink that particular beer, but get out and let them know that you're there and you care about them. And that's we want to exude that we genuinely do want to make personal connections, whether it's a Harvest Host person from California, Ohio. We want to make sure that they remember Mount Olive and remember R and R Brewing for being welcoming and really trying to encompass what the brewing industry stands for. And that's trying to leave a small footprint as far as, you know, our impact on the environment, while also having a large impact on the economy and on the community.
And he's also trying to help bring back the downtown. Won't get into any specifics, but
Right.
you've got ideas to help
There's-
revitalize parts of that?
Yeah, just like, and this is universal really across the state, and I'm sure across the nation, where there once were booming and thriving economies due to different decades and eras, and try to find out what can we do in this area, how can we better help the community. We've sent out economic development surveys where we ask the residents, where we ask the local business owners, you know, what do you think should come to town? What would you like to see? What would make you want to live here and put down roots and raise a family and your generations after you? Like, what can really help us the most? And right now, for this particular area, food and dining, and then right under that is entertainment and the arts. And so taking that information and saying, well, you know, there's this building that's been unoccupied or you know, some tragedy happened, whether it was a hurricane or a fire, you know, what can we do with that? How can we take this land and really build it and add something that's complementary to what's here already? So whether it's a burger joint or whether it's a theater or whatever it may be, really trying to get involved with our local Chamber of Commerce, Town Hall. We have a university in town, you know, see what may help them with their enrollment.
Free beer.
What?
Of course, I got to be 21, I think. So.
Well, yeah, no, Lord knows we know we can never say free and beer in the same sentence, but we can help any way we can, even if it's just showing up to help on a work day or something, you know. And we highly encourage all of our staff. We have team meetings, and we say, what would you like to see the brewery do? And one of our bartenders, she's a mobile dog groomer full-time during the day, and she's like, well, let's do an adoption event. So that's what we're doing, you know, find a need and find the wants of the local people and pursue those.
Well, I'll say Mount Olive is lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Not the business, that too.
I appreciate
but lucky to have Ryan Roberts here.
Thank you.
So this is great. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. Just anytime you're in or around the Mount Olive area, feel free to stop by and see us. We absolutely love meeting new people and introducing this area and of course ourselves to anybody, anytime. So people ought to check your website or Facebook page to get your hours. It's randrbrew.com is the website, and you can find us on Facebook. We're very active on our social media. And we try to keep people up to date on anything and everything that we're either a part of or that we're hosting here at the tap room. So absolutely follow us on Instagram, RR_brewing, and then Facebook is R and R Brewing. So are you the social media person too? Yeah. Like I said, a little bit of everything. It just depends on what day. A lot of everything. Yeah. It takes a lot. Yeah. So come visit R and R Brewing, Mount Olive, North Carolina. Again, I'm Mark. This is The Country Life. Don't forget to subscribe, share, all those good things. Welcome to my neighborhood. Thanks again, Brian. Signing off.